our dear angel of the Red Cross. Palakpakan naman natin. Mayor Duterte. It's my fellow mayor, you know. And he doesn't like to go president, but we know he's our president. Let me also greet our GLORIA Arroyo, President of the Republic, not too very long ago. And of course, our Senate President, PIMENTEL. And our Asia Pacific representative from the International Red Cross, Javier Castellanos. Distinguished members of the Diplomatic Corps, members of the Cabinet, good friend Ben Diokno is there, and also I don't see Sandy Dominguez, but anyway, my fellow senators, Senator Hornazan, Senator Soto, Senator Binay, Senator Aguilar, and Senator Joel, and of course Senator Ejercito, Senator Subiri, and Senator Joel again, meaning Sherwin Gatchalian. And of course Congressman Labrigad, who are all members of the board as well, and all the members of the Board of Red Cross here in the Philippines. Distinguished chapter administrators and members of the Red Cross, the officers of the Philippine Navy, give them a big hand, please, especially Admiral Ronnie Mercado. And I have to say this right away before I forget his name altogether. He's a very good friend of mine. Former flag officer of the Philippine Navy, Admiral Ed de los Santos, without whom I would not have been able to run this ship. Louder, please. I had to pull him out from Portugal, where he was going to Fatima with his family, and bring him back here because I felt it was important that he should attend. I don't really need him here, but I wanted him to share the honors of this occasion. Admiral de los Santos. All our fellow citizens here, good friends, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat ngayong araw na ito. What a great pleasure and honor to be here with our donors, our commissioning partners, and if I may, so that I can get business done right away, may I call upon our commissioning partners to stand up, please. Jaime Augusto Sibel de Ayala of the Ayala Group of Companies over here. Turn around, Jaime, please, so they can see. you. Thank you. Mr. Alejo of San Miguel Corporation. My very distinguished classmate from the class of 66 at Ateneo de Manila, the class least likely to succeed, our class, Barry Pagilinan, and myself. And of course, we have our distinguished entrepreneur, par excellence, Carlos Chan. Don Carlos Chan, I call him. Yeah, there you go. Mr. Jefferson Chang, who built the Terminal 3. Dennis Uy, a young entrepreneur from Davao, who's doing petroleum. And of course, we have Edgar Injab Sia of, Chicken Inasal. Young man, very young man. Augurs very well for our country. And of course, Robert Cuyuto is here already. And I guess I've mentioned, I'm sorry, Kevin Tan, the son of my very good friend, Andrew Tan of Mega World. Basilio Yap is here also, and he promises to be a commissioning member. His father was a very, very good friend of the Red Cross from the Bulletin Group of Companies, and he promises, I'm not making the promise for him, but he promises to be a member of this group, as well as Metro Bank, the George T. family as well. My fellow citizens, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Great honor for us to have the President here with us. The President, as you know, has a very fierce facade. You know, most of the time, people think that he's tough, pero sa Tagalog, pusong mamon. You know, because actually, this President has been helping the poor for so long. I know, being a member of the Red Cross and being a former mayor myself, that he's always first when there are disasters. He was first in Haiyan, he was first in Bohol, he was first in many places, and at the same time, let me tell you, I am aware, when I was there many years ago, he would tell me about this program for the cancer victims, especially the young people that he takes care at the hospital in Davao. So you see, you cannot judge a book by its cover, and there's nothing defensive about him. What you see is what you get, and I'm happy to stand here on the same stage as our President, Rodrigo Duterte. Please give him a big hand. I consider this launching of PRC Amazing Grace, and that's the name, as a game changer, not only in the Philippine Red Cross, but also a symbolic game changer as it shows that the impossible can be done. It may take longer, but it can be done. Why do I say this? All of us grew up, and they tell us, hindi mo kaya yan. Mahirap lang tayo, anak. You cannot go to school, that school. That's for the rich and famous. You don't have money. You cannot run for political office. You cannot get the job in Procter & Gamble. You have to record with guns, goods, and gold. You cannot defeat somebody who's powerful. We're always told you cannot do this. And all my life, I remember the words of my father who taught me in Chinese, and he's not Chinese, Bo choy kang, bo tan siya. You don't work, you don't eat. And nothing is impossible. And indeed, all through my life, I've been to my school, my company, Procter & Gamble, my goals in life, my ambitions, the country's quest, aspirations, and goals. To some, it is simply position, but as you know, a British statesman once said, leadership is not position or title, it is action. And therefore, to me, it is action, for example, to seek justice for a murdered father, to pay devotion to a beloved mother, a Red Cross volunteer, just as President Duterte pays homage to his mother, whom he loves deeply. We both cry about our mothers when we see their graves or whatever. My mother was a volunteer for 63 years in the Red Cross. So it's part of our obligation to do all that and not to be ashamed about it. To be able to make sure that, this Red Cross has withstood time. 70 years of Red Cross activity in this country. We had the first blood bank in this country. And to make sure you know, I come from a city that was ravaged by greed, and they told us we were never going to survive it. I come from a city where they closed the bases without any preparation whatsoever. I come from a city that did not believe that it can, with volunteerism, protect the facilities of that base and make it prosper. I come from a city that was destroyed by a volcano, Pinatubo. I come from a city that created opportunities to fire up its people. Also, who have been so dependent and defeated by a foreign presence, and by a very, very all-consuming national government, who closed the walls of the mind as our past did to us. A colonial hangover that put walls in our mind, that limits our ability to look beyond the walls as Rizal did. And that is why he was executed by the colonial powers. But the spirit of the individual, of the Filipino, and creating a mentality of can-do has never been erased from us. You see them everywhere. Volunteers in Dubai, volunteers in Saudi Arabia, they're everywhere. To say it cannot be done or it takes too long is something that we just say because sometimes we fear the future. But we have learned in the Red Cross that we must make the future our friend, and that we must make fear our friend. And so today, we take action to forge on with a new initiative to recreate a world of wonders, or WOW. We did an automated, quicker and less dishonest elections. And the never seemingly ending effort to engage people, to volunteer for a cause bigger than themselves, to go outside their circle and go beyond that and meet the monsters of doubt and leave the shores of security and go sail the oceans where they don't see any more islands, no birds, but to know where you're going, and not just how, but to be sure you can attain whatever you want to attain if you work hard enough. And so today, coming from all the things, this Red Cross Society of the Philippines has helped people, by making sure that we raise the bar of achievement. When they attain something, we go higher and tell them we're not finished. To achieve all the time so we can alleviate human suffering, from floods to earthquakes, to eruptions of volcanoes, to rebuild many thousands of lost homes, to help restart or rehabilitate lives, to prevail over conflicts between human beings in our country, to increase capacity at all times, to rescue, to alleviate and to relieve, to rehabilitate, instill a can-do spirit and attitude, to seek a better and faster way at all times, to fulfill our duties, whether it is to build a new and intelligent building, get thousands of first aiders well equipped for the big one, and we do have thousands of volunteers now, Mr. President, in Metro Manila and all over the country, trained first aiders, well-equipped ambulances, fire trucks, watercraft, amphibians, and you will see that here, water search and rescue, provide hospital tents even as far away as Nepal, and send our volunteers all the way to Ecuador and also to Ebola in Africa. And now a quicker, more adequate way to reach out for the vulnerable, for humanity, through Philippine Red Cross Amazing Grace. I want to reach out, really today, to the people out there listening and the radios and on television, especially to the young folks out there today. I tell them if anything is to be, it must simply be up to us, to all of us, and to do it, quoting Kipling, to force our heart and nerve and sinew, to serve our turn long after they're gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in us except the will to say to them, hold on. Today, we thank those who believe in us, our donors, the international societies of the Red Cross who help bring the ship, to all our volunteers who believe that we can launch this in spite of the impossible, that this all-volunteer movement, one of the biggest in the world, can acquire and bring to the country what is one of the most versatile, most modern maritime vessels in the world to rescue and relieve during disasters. When you see it later on, you'll see it's all computerized. It runs on 6 people alone. And it can land on the beach, unload cargo, take in people, evacuate them, or can land on any port, something that we had to wait for in the past. And so today, the boat cost a formidable $85 million, but it did not shrink from it. We used our talents and negotiated down to $1.7 billion. How about that for you? However, I was telling you, we spent more bringing the ship here because we had it towed, and I felt we even got taken, but never mind. It's here, and that's important. And so today, at a total estimated cost of $6 million, or through funds provided for by the Philippine Red Cross donors, friends, the Japan Red Cross, the German Red Cross, the British Red Cross, the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent, who all contributed. And to many people, faceless people who have strong hearts, who, like our volunteers, are stout-hearted, ready to help at any given time. We're a country, after all, of 7,641 islands. When President Macapagal Arroyo appointed me as Secretary of Tourism, I had an ad that says, if we don't like this island, we still have 7,106 more to choose from. Today, it is 7,647 islands. Lumaki na tayo, including our population. And so today, no port can stop us, no beach will stop us. We can bring our volunteers and our people down the throat of a beach where the monster disasters are bedeviling our people. With our dedicated volunteers all over the country, armed with the holocaust of serving their fellow men, we will prevail. Whereas before we had to wait and rely today. With PRC Amazing Grace, we now possess the ability to support, share, provide, and to make sure reach out. It has become possible because of our partner national societies, the IFRC and other partner national societies, like I said, throughout the movement, and because of generous donors, some of whom are my friends and classmates, and I guess they won't give me any money anymore when I run for re-election in the Senate. PRC Amazing Grace is a game changer. If they do that, they're in bad taste and bad judgment. It is a marvel of engineering that Philippine Red Cross, which is the only Red Cross chapter in the world that has such a ship, now can share. It is a game changer. Nay, it is an attitude changer. That if we help out, we can all achieve true independence in overcoming challenges and our own weaknesses as individuals and as a people. And so today, I would like to welcome you all here for this great moment when once again, we have sought a newer world. And we, like the saying goes, come my friends, it's not too late to seek a newer world. For my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset. And though we may not have that heart, which in all days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, we are. One equal temper of heroic heart, made weak by time and fate, but still strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Forward, Philippine Red Cross. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas. Mabuhay ang Pangulo ng Pilipinas. Thank you very much.
Former President Gloria Arroyo, Senate President Aquilino Pimentel III, Secretary Pauline Jean Rosel Ubial, Secretary Benjamin Diokno, and the members of the Cabinet, Senator Richard Gordon, the incoming President of the Republic of the Philippines, the donors of Red Cross might want to consider the man behind Red Cross. Members of the Senate and House of Representatives, officials, employees of the Philippine Red Cross, men and women of the Philippine Navy, fellow workers in government, honored guests, my beloved countrymen. You know, there are two persons I dread to be with if they are talking. One was, he was not able to hurdle the commission on appointments, but such is really bright, but in every cabinet meeting, I would be wondering what he's saying. And second is, the diction is perfect. The voice is good. But the drawl is not even American. It's not Texan. It's a little bit of an Ilocano ang pagsalita. No offense intended, Mr. President Gordon, but you know, I come from a province and we seldom hear that kind of talk. And unless there is a visiting American Navy or American tourist, we get to talk to them. And we are not quite adept in making out, especially if your hearing is not good, like me. I was whispering to the City Health Secretary, can you make out of what the guy is talking? And I said, he's talking about Red Cross. Oh, I know. You talk with the fast. You talk fast and the drawl is distinctly Ilocano. Parang, well, I have a prepared speech. It's about 2 pages. And if we want to go home early, I can accommodate you to take about less than a minute. But I would like to share with you a very profound experience in my life. You know, we local government officials, I, like Lito here of Zamboanga, I've been mayor for the last 23 years, Davao, before becoming a president. And we are not new to disasters, man-made or natural. And we deal with it almost every other day. There is a fire, you have to get up from bed, go to the fire scene, then start mobilizing your men, and you stay there until you are satisfied that everything is in place. That is how we live as local officials. We stare eyeball to eyeball with the human tragedy. But nothing can beat the November 8, President Gordon corrected me. I thought it was November 5, and it was November 8, 2013. Well, I was really appalled that despite the fact that the warning came to us early, and that it would be the most powerful typhoon so far in this century. But it's not in the nonchalant attitude, but many of our countrymen took it lightly. And when it hit Leyte and Samar, we were all ignorant of what was really happening. The towers were down and there was no communication at all. I was able to get through and got the news from the military. You know, wherever they are, they have this string that they can just uncommunicate. And I think it was the MIG of that place, the guy who was assigned to Davao before, called me and told me, "Sir, bagsak ang Tacloban." Sabi ko, gaano ka bagsak? How bad is it? And I thought that naivety was really... And I said, how many died? 300? 200? Said, no, sir, there are thousands around town lying and in decay. So that was the following day. That night, I mobilized 911 of Davao. Well, aside from second to Olongapo, I might be the first Olongapo first. And I have the best 911, the most complete. So I mobilized 10 doctors, 10 nurses, all male. And I told them, bring as many alcohol as you can, because I said, we are not foreigners, aliens to this kind of event. So I flew by Cebu Pacific and took a chopper. And no offense intended to anyone. But when I looked at the Gulf of Leyte, I could not see even one boat there in the water. There was no ship at all. And when I went down, the guy, I think he was a policeman assigned in the aviation, he asked for me. I was carrying a bottle of water, sinabi, "Sir, may tubig kayong dala?" And it dawned upon me that there was really a crisis. I could not see any ship of any size doing any kind of work at all, or just even paddling around. And even in the airport, there were still bodies and bodies after bodies, and I could not get a ride. So I had to walk to the regional office of the PNP. And even on the gate, there were about, I could almost surmise that they were the highway patrol policemen because of their long boots. So when you ride the motor, you have to protect your leg. And that's why these policemen riding, they call them the haggards, they have these long boots. And there were 3 of them just thrown in the gate. And I went inside and met the officials of the government. I do not want to say something bad. It's no longer time to do it. Anyway, we have the ship that's been all compensated. The agony and suffering is a refreshing sight that there's a boat there ready to go to where the Filipino is suffering. Pero yung nakita ko, I cried twice. I was walking along towards the PNP headquarters. I could see one family lined together. Tapos dalawa, isa, dalawa. Then male, female. But I chanced upon this almost 5 months, baby. She was alone beside a dead dog. And so I excused myself from the party and I said, I'd like to pee. Actually, I was looking for inside the wreckage and I cried. I could not bear the sights. And what is really worth it is that I do not mean any day 2. Kasi umalis na kaagad ako. I flew out in the afternoon. I went home in the evening. It was the airport that I cried publicly. But the following day, I was following up because I prepared 2 teams. I knew, or I know now, I knew then that they could only stand 2 days. That's what our experience in Davao and in the crisis in Mindanao and during the airplane crash when you are there. This tension, everything, the soldiers could only stand and the doctors for 2 days, and after that they would back down. So I dispatched the other 20 day after, and I told them, the original group, to come home. And I was asking them, is there any activity, the gathering of the dead and everything, the decomposing bodies? I said, not yet. And I was really, I looked to the heavens and said, my God, what's anong nangyari? Something went terribly wrong Yolanda. Very, very wrong. And I just want to share it with you because I could not forget it. Still, yung bata na maliit, and they were, the wind must have carried the poor child. And I hope it would not happen again. I went there because I was born in Leyte. I was, I'm in 1945 when the Americans landed, and my father was a soldier. He was with Jago, and he was busy in Cebu City. I do not want to mention the personalities, but they are old politicians. They were prosecuting them for collaboration with the Japanese government. But and I think it was a correct move. Along the way, an amnesty was declared and everybody was forgiven. So that's how I really dread crisis and catastrophes like this. We have to give it to President Gordon. I have to get used to it. I'm sorry, Mr. President. It's only about a few more years, and he's one guy who, every time he goes out of the country, he buys a leather jacket because I ride the motor. I have gone around the Philippines twice, from Abra to on a big bike. And during the days of crisis or the days of living dangerously, I and Gringo, call him the Gringo, I'd like to call him Gringo now. He was wanted by the government, but he was in Davao with me, and itong isa, si Rod, the guy from the Air Force. We were having a great time touring around the place. We were wearing helmets, but that is how competent the armed forces is. The guy was, we were, I said, having a great time rambling down the streets of Davao, eating durian on the sidewalk. And my God, nobody recognized Senator Honasan. And I said, that is how good our armed forces are, or is. You know, I have to make the salutations and the terms of endearment. This would not have been possible were it not for the human spirit that you possess. And to you guys, I salute you. And I would want to say my personal words, and even to the guy, to do justice to the guy who prepared the speech. Para naman when the tragedy of Yolanda struck our nation more than 3 years ago, emergency responders faced the formidable task of reaching the devastated areas due to insufficient transport facilities and heavily damaged infrastructure. We already learned our lesson. I am therefore happy to join you today as we launch this state-of-art PRC Relief and Recovery ship known as the Amazing Grace. That is the song of those who are facing the firing squad. What else can you display except it with grace? When carrying a capacity of 20 vehicles and 130 passengers and the capability to dock on any port or beach, this ship shall serve as the realization of the PRC's vision of effectively responding to any disaster anywhere in the country. Through this ship, the PRC would be able to complement government forces in providing immediate relief assistance during emergency and crisis situations. This ship shall also serve as a reminder of the will and determination of the PRC to face any obstacle in pursuit of its noble cause. We therefore appreciate the efforts of the Red Cross, the Red Crescent movements in ensuring that PRC would be able to purchase the ship to the funding of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, the British, German, and Japanese Red Cross. With the generous assistance of its international partners, PRC has indeed played an indispensable role in the coordination and mobilization of relief operations whenever we face the country's situation. With the launching of the ship, we join the PRC in embracing the culture of volunteerism and selflessness. May this inspire us to come together and reach out to anyone who may need aid and comfort. I also call upon PRC to take a more active role in the efforts to maintain peace and order in our communities. Be vigilant not only in assisting our people from natural and man-made calamities, but also in initiating programs that would complement our fight against illegal drugs, crime, and corruption. May this ship serve as a concrete reminder to all of us that above all, we must prioritize the safety, the well-being, and the welfare of our people. Salamat po.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. At this juncture, may we request the President to grant a photo opportunity. May we call by batches, batch 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'd like to start with batch 1, the PRC commissioning partners. Our batch 2 will be the PRC movement partners. Our batch 3 will be the PRC Board of Governors. And our batch 4 will be our PRC executive staff. And batch 5 will be our PRC chapter administrators.